Jai Hind students. So we have done up to the seventh principle of management, which is given by Sir Henry Fayol. So now we will go through the next principles. This will be from 8 to 14 principle. Okay. So what you are going to learn is basically that you will be able to explain the different Fayol's principles of management. So let's get started with the eighth principle of management, that is centralization and decentralization. Centralization is basically about making decisions, or the person who is at the top level position, if he or she is deciding on its own and making decisions and have the authority in its hand totally, then it means that the organization is purely centralized. Okay, but when that authority is dispersed, or if I say distributed among more than one person, then it is called as decentralization. Okay, so we can't say that we must have pure centralization and pure decentralization. It should be effectively organized. We can't say that one organization can work in centralization mode and one can work in decentralization mode. It can never happen. So in that case, what you have to do, what organizations must do is that they should have a proper balance between centralized and decentralized authorities. So in that case, according to Fayol, what Fayol is saying, Henry Fayol is saying, there is a need to balance subordinate involvement through decentralization with managers, retention of final authority through centralization. Now we need, yes, if I'm talking about not so pure centralization, not so pure decentralization, it means we need to balance between these two levels. It means subordinate involvement should be there, and manager's retention of final authority should be there. Okay, so when I am involving the subordinate to carry out some activity, it is known as decentralization. But when I am taking full authority, or I am retaining some authority to make the final decisions, it is known as centralization. Okay, so obviously large organization have more decentralization than small organization, because there are number of people involved in it, such as you can see in our panchayat system in our country. More powers have been given to these panchayats so that they can decide their own and spend funds granted to them by for the welfare of the village and village people, for their betterment. So this is decentralization at the national level, because if fund is granted, you need not to ask where to spend. You can spend on your own for the village development. So here is a diagrammatic representation where centralization and decentralization is shown. Here you can see one person is having authority and giving the instructions and directing the others and giving the roles and responsibility to others. Where in this diagram you can see one person is having authority, but he or she has divided the authority into two different persons, such as three persons are in the authority and has given the authority by the top level, and further these three suppose managers, we can say these three managers are giving roles and responsibility and giving work to the to its subordinate in the organization. So this is decentralization, where you are actually distributing the authority, or you are somewhat minimizing the authority and keeping the powerful authority in your hands. Okay, so I suggest you guys to make the diagram as well as while including these points. So I know you have book, but you can add these points, because these are actually included from the NCERT book and other book. So it will help you to make notes more elaborative and more clearly. So next is about scalar chain. Scalar chain, you can see here the diagram. We will explain through this diagram. Okay, supposingly one person, here is A, is having the line of authority towards B, C, D, E. Okay, and L, M, N, O. So two line of authority means two people, two group of people are working under A. So it means A is at high and B, C, D at its subordinate means at low, as well as L, M, N, O at low under the top level, that is A. So these are the formal lines, B, C, D, E and L, M, N, O. Okay. Now in scalar chain, what we do, we are saying about the highest ranks and lower ranks. It means highest ranks and lower ranks. A is giving the duties and responsibilities to B, C, D, E as well as to L, M, N, O. Okay. L, M, N, O is also working under A and B, C, D is also working under A. So what Fayol is saying, organizations should have a chain of authority and communication that runs from top to bottom and should be followed by managers and subordinates. It have a chain of authority, you already know chain of authority, and communication that runs from top to bottom should be followed by managers and subordinate, managers and subordinates, managers and subordinates. So in that case, they are doing, suppose there is an example B, C, D, E and L, M, N, O. Here if E has to communicate with O, if E has to communicate with O, they can communicate at the same level. Okay, so this E, then if a person E wants to communicate with A and A want to communicate further with O, then how it will work? Then it will work from E, D, C, B, okay, A, L, M, N, O. It means communication will be directed like this: E, D, C, B, A, L, M, N, O. And if this subordinate wants to communicate with O person, that is O who is at the same level as like E, so he or she can contact with each other, communicate with each other. Okay, so now when this communication happens, E to O, it is horizontal communication. Okay, and this kind of communication is known as gangplank because they are directly communicating with each other if there is an emergency. Okay, so in that case it is known as gangplank. You always must remember about gangplank because question may come about this scalar chain and about gangplank. So in that case you must know that when same level of subordinates are communicating with each other and they want to share something, share their views about any decision or any work, so in that case in the case of emergency they can directly contact to each other. Okay, let's have some look on these points. According to Fayol, this chain should not be violated in the normal course of formal communication. It should not be violated because if D has the higher authority than E has to inform the D first, then D has to inform the C first, C has to inform the B first, and B has to take permission from the A first. So this is the chain. You can't break the chain because you have the level or you have the limit of authority with you. So this is short route and has been provided so that communication is not delayed. So when gangplank is allowed, it is a short route. Okay, suppose A has directed to B and B to C, C to D and D to E. Now what E is doing, E wants that work should be done, or in any case of emergency E can communicate the same to O as the same kind of work is to be allotted to this level of authority or this line of authority. So that's why in case of emergency these formal levels can also opt for gangplank. Okay, in practice you find that a worker cannot directly contact the CEO of the company. If at all she or he has to, then all the formal levels, foreman, superintendent, manager, director, etc. have to know about the matter. Okay, so however in emergency it can be possible that a worker can contact CEO directly. This is a kind of feedback redressal system where you can contact the CEO directly in case of any emergency. Okay, then otherwise you can contact your superior, such as it can be manager, director or superintendent or foreman. Okay, so with this diagram Here's a diagram where you can actually understand how we can communicate with the higher level to lower level. This is another diagram where you can understand the type of communication is being followed, such as here you can see bottom to up. Bottom to up means upward communication. You always must remember that when bottom to up approach is being followed, it is in the upward communication, means low to high. Okay, the second term you can use low to high. As well as when top level is giving something instructions, instructions to low level, it means downward communication from top to bottom or top to down. Okay, you must know all these terms so that you can explain your content in very elaborative and very varied manner. So here you can see 3 is communicating directly with C, so it is known as horizontal communication, whereas upward communication or this type of communication upward and downward is known as vertical communication, or it's a kind of communication which has bottom to up and top to down approach being used. So this is about the gangplank. You must know what is gangplank, and you must be able to explain the term gangplank. Okay. Next is order. Order is, it means it in at suitable place and its own place. Okay, it is should be in order at appropriate time. So according to Fayol, what Fayol is saying, people and material should be in suitable places at appropriate time for maximum efficiency. Okay, when you know that you want to carry out some task, if you don't have the material but you have the people, you can't carry out the task effectively and efficiently. So in order to ensure the effectiveness and efficiency in your work and at your organization, you need to you need to arrange all the material as well as people in its own suitable place, such as you have allotted one person who know how to repair the electric appliances, but what happens, he or she doesn't have the tools, doesn't have the resources or materials through which he or she can work. So in that case, that person can't work in your organization. Or if you wrongly appointed someone or wrongly given the place of work to someone which is not according to him, or he or she can't do according to the work allotted, so it can't work. So you need to place the people as well as material at its appropriate time as well as at its place for maximum efficiency. So this principle states a place for everything, and everyone. Okay, a place for everyone and everything in its or his or her place. Okay, it means everything should be arranged in an orderly manner. It should not be there should not be chaos between your people and your material. Okay, if there is a fixed place for everything and it is present there, then there will be no hindrance in the activities of business factory. Obviously, when the activities are carried out at large scale, you need to arrange everything. You need to arrange the material as well as the people who will work with it and who will arrange all those things with themselves. So this helps in increase productivity as well as efficiency in work. Okay, so always remember that you also should work in order manner so that your work should be completed on time. So that's why we always say that we must manage our time so that we can orderly complete our work with our best efforts. Okay, so now what is equity? 11th principle is about the principle of equity. So actually what Fayol is saying, good sense and experience are needed to ensure fairness to all employees. Means if you want to do fair, if you want to behave fairly, you must have good sense. You must understand the situations. You must understand the people emotion. Okay, and even experience also. A new person or a person who is not very old or don't have experience of work in an organization, he or she can't tackle with the situations, or can behave fairly with the employees. So one should treat the its employees fairly as much as possible. So this is the saying of Fayol. So this principle emphasized kindliness and justice in the behavior of managers towards workers. It purely said that you should be kind to your employees, and there should be justice in your decisions, so that no one should be hurt and no one should be criticized. This will ensure loyalty and devotion. It means you are loyal to your workers, you are loyal even to your position, and you are devoted to your work. You are not actually selfish for your position, and exploiting the your position, because you're overusing or taking the high ego, having an ego that I'm the high, I'm at high authority and I can do anything. No, there should be kindliness and justice in the behavior of managers towards workers. Okay, and there should be no discrimination against anyone. There should be not discrimination against anyone on account of gender, religion, language, caste, belief, or nationality, etc. So, if you are discriminating anyone on the ground of gender, it means male or female, religion, that is Hindu, Sikh, Christian, or any religion, and language, it can be state language, so English or Hindi or Malayalam or Telugu or Marathi or Bengali or Haryanvi. If you are discriminating upon even caste also, such as low caste, upper caste, or beliefs or nationality, even such as you are Nepali, I don't want let you to being in my group. So this is not done. You must be very good, you must be very kind to your employees, so that everyone should be cozy and comfortable under your guidance and under your authority. So this is the diagram which shows the equity. Here you can see equality. Equality is something else, where equal opportunities are given, but equity is something else. If someone is able to do by his or her own self, then there is no need for support. But second person needs support, so he or she will be granted as per her requirement. Another person is very much deficient in his or her capabilities, so assistance can be provided according to its capabilities and its actually work. So this is kind of equity. The concept of equality and equity is both are different. We can't say that equity is equal same as equality. No, equity is something that giving the fair chance to everyone, do not letting anyone down, so that everyone can enjoy and can have better aspects of understanding with everyone. So if you are letting everyone enjoy and letting everyone have work with the peers and even with the employees and colleagues, or if I say with the manager, so he or she will give their best efforts. So now 12th principle is about stability of personnel. Personnel, you already know that we are talking about employees or workers. So personnel stability, stable in its job. Okay, what Fayol is saying, employee turnover should be minimized to maintain organizational efficiency. Okay, personnel should be selected. It means there should be not bunch of employees. You must have selected employees who can work for your organizational growth and survival. If you are selecting huge number of employees in your organization, he or she may not work, as you all know that there will be no management for the people who are actually wasting their time at your organization. So no, we are selecting and appointing after due and rigorous procedure. Okay, you should follow the proper selection procedures to appoint anyone or to select anyone. Okay, but once selected, you should be kept at their post and position for a minimum fixed tenure. They should be actually placed or kept for the position for minimum fixed tenure and have the stability of tenure. Okay, they should be given reasonable time to show results, because if you say that no, okay, I have appointed you for this, but I am giving you this kind of work, but why are you giving this kind of work? Because that person may need time to show its result. So that person should be kept for a minimum fixed tenure. So any adhocism in this regard will create instability and insecurity among employees, because if you change something frequently or at very glance, so it create instability and insecurity among employees, and they will tend to leave the organization. Okay, so the person you have appointed for, you must allot the place or post to them, so that they can work for your organization with best effort. So recruitment, selection and training cost will be high in that case, because you have to select, or you have to opt for the selection procedure again and again, and it will obviously take your time, and it will also cost you more for the training processes, selection procedures, and even recruitment methods also. So stability in tenure of personnel is good for the business. So if personnel is actually appointed for long term of period, so this stability will be good for your business. Okay, they will be work as per the basis of, on the basis of loyalty and trust, and do their best. So 13 initiative is about 13 principle is about, initiative. So principle of initiative is to develop and carry out their plans for improvements. Purely saying, workers should be encouraged. Means you, if you are working in an organization, you have to take initiative to develop and carry out their plans for improvement. Initiative means taking the first step with self motivation. Means if you are ready to do work, you will take steps. If you are not ready to do work, you will sit idly. But I always suggest everyone who are connected to me to take initiative, because initiatives help everyone to get the experiences. Because you know what, we don't get chance to do the things one or repeated basis. In that case, we when I'm taking initiative or to do things, I will get diverse chances or diverse kind of chances to get involved in any activity. Such as you did number of activities in your school. All are not same, all are not of same kind. Okay, you have performed many dances, you have performed contemporary, you have sung for the school in a function, you have done acrobats, or even you have done different dances. So these are not same, all have some kind of motive behind it, and this would happen because of your self motivation, because you want to do, you are ready to do that. So it is thinking out and executing the plan. Actually, if you want to do something, it means you are thinking out and executing the plan. It is one of the traits of an intelligent person. If you are initiating in your work and in any environment, or suppose if you are working as an initiative person or as an initiative student, it means you're an intelligent person. Because why? It doesn't mean that if you're not taking initiative, you're not intelligent. No. Why it is intelligent? Because an intelligent person knows that what is good and what is wrong. If person is taking initiative, that he or she knows that yes, I know what is the actually worth of doing this. So this kind of actually analysis is done by only intelligent person. Okay, that's why initiative should be encouraged, so that everyone should have experiences or in his or her life, and everyone should get chance to do something by self motivation. Okay, so but it doesn't mean that going against the established practice of the company for the sake of being different. Being different is good, but being different and violating the rules is not actually acceptable. So do something which help you to grow, which should not demolish your actually personality. It should not make you separate from the organization, or organization may force to take action against you. It should not be like that. But yes, initiative should be there among the even students also, or even the employees also. A good company should have an employee suggestion system, whereby initiative suggestion which result in substantial cost time reduction should be awarded. So in this diagram you should see employee suggestion system is there. Okay, where encourage initiative among trainee managers actually seen here. You can see that if you are having employee suggestion system or initiative and suggestions are being asked, so you can even reduce the cost or even reduce the time. Okay, and this should be rewarded. Okay, if you are giving suggestions to the organization which work well for the organization and helps, and your suggestion helps to give the organization to reduce the time as well as cost, reduce the time of producing many units and even cost for production, so it definitely you will get the reward for the from the company. Okay, so these kind of bonuses, and you can get the incentives from the organization, you can get the salary hike, or even you may get the promotion also, though it depends purely upon the top level manager and what they want to give you. But yes, initiative helps you for the personal as well as professional development. So last but not the least, spread the corps. It means a feeling of pride and mutual loyalty shared by the members of a group. Pride and mutual loyalty. You should be loyal towards your team members. What Fuel is saying, management should promote a team spirit of unity and harmony among employees. Okay, a team spirit of unity. Okay, everyone should work in one go. Okay, there should be harmony. Okay, you should be loyal to your members, and this teamwork helps organizations to achieve their objectives even in difficult times also. Okay, and you know what, if you are not working properly and you don't have any team spirit, or there is not unity among the people or the team members, it will be the lack of coordination, or it will result in loss of coordination, because coordination is created but you are not actually cooperating with each other, so coordination can't be seen. So suppose a manager, suppose no, you have to do, manager should replace I with we in all his conversations with workers to foster team spirit. So we must, I also actually, dear student, I also insist you, because in this thing I want to suggest you, I want to insist you, because whenever you go at any college or at any university, at any institution, if you I know that you will work for yourself, but you have to go with the team also. If you are working by saying we, so it means you are actually committed, or you are actually loyal to your group members or the peers or your classmates, or if I say that you know what is team spirit, because I become selfish but we become actually very very loyal thing, and very harmoniously we can imbibe this thing, that yes, it we shows the unity, but I shows the selfishness. Okay, but always ensures the unity among the environment, or among the the people with whom you are actually residing with. So this will give rise to a spirit of mutual trust and belongingness. So we always, we unite, we belong. Okay, I belong, we say, but always when you are working in a team, you must say we belong, not I belong. So it will also minimize the need for using penalties. So if you are working for the organization welfare audit and you have good team spirit, so it helps you to minimize the penalties. Okay, in this diagram you can see everyone is working for one goal and everyone is supporting each other. So thank you so much. I hope you will complete these notes on time, because we will be short at our time, because this the syllabus will not be completed as we planned for. So I want and I wish that you will complete the work at time. So here is an assignment. Read and write the story of Dr. Kiran Mazumdar Shaw given on the page number 36 of NCERT book. You have to find out and you have to write. Download the NCERT book from the link given in the class WhatsApp group. So, and you have also need to complete the notes of Principles of Management by Henry Fayol. Okay, till then, good luck and stay blessed. Thank you.